Crazy enough, we are officially approaching day 100 of me posting every single day in 2026. And I'll share what I thought would happen, and then I'll share what actually happened. And this is coming from someone who literally just started her YouTube page, I think back in December. So I'll start with what I'm grateful for, and that is the reality that I am a lot more comfortable and confident in talking face to camera. I can acknowledge that I'm not, what should I say, like stuttering. I'm not using my ums as much. I'm not having like these moments of like lapses in like what I want to say as much as I did when I first started. I also acknowledge that I don't even have a script anymore. I'm at the point now where I know like high level what topic I want to discuss, and I'm trusting myself more and God to speak through me in ways that in the past, if I didn't have a script or if I didn't have my bullet points written out, or if I hadn't done research prior to opening my mouth, I didn't trust that what I would say would be relevant or would matter. So that's one of the biggest things that I can see a difference in with how I communicate, not just with these YouTube videos directly, but also with how I'm showing up in meetings at work and how I am expressing myself with my friends and family. And I think that that is something that I've taken the Dale Carnegie's, I've taken the speaking workshops, I've done, what is that one? Toastmasters. I've done many of these things where they're more of like, okay, you do it for 6 weeks and then you hope that it actually leads to a different way in which you communicate, whether it's presentations or more of the informal conversation like this. But I remember Glow Atonmo, she's of course the one who I've been following and who had shared the power of posting every single day on YouTube for 100 days. And I remember she had mentioned that this is the best way to experience like coaching when it comes to speaking, or be able to really lean into public speaking in a way that you can hire someone, yes, and of course there are very structured curriculums and certificates and courses and all of that, but actually doing the work is truly the biggest teacher. So that's the first big thing I've learned. The second big thing that I am grateful for is showing up even when I didn't want to, and this is something that goes back to integrity, doing what you say you're going to do. And there were some days where I literally was like, I don't have it in me. I was working my 9 to 5. I was also planning a big trip. There were other days I was traveling. There were days that it was 8 p.m., 9 p.m. and I was like, I gotta get this video out. I was also doing the Stand Dare to Post challenge over the past few weeks where we were posting every single day on Instagram in order to reach their challenge requirements. So essentially with that challenge, we were tasked to post every single day. You could either do a 4+ slide carousel, or you could do a 10-second plus reel. And doing that on top of all that I mentioned and putting my YouTube video out every day was quite taxing, if I'm honest. But we did it, and they had a $100,000 pool of money, and whoever actually accomplished the mission for the full 30 days is essentially a person that will get a piece of the pie. So let's say I think it was like 3,000 people actually did it. I was shocked. I thought it was going to be significantly less because there were about 30,000 people that had joined the community, but those 3,000 will essentially split it evenly, so I don't even think we'll get $100 each out of it, but hey, it's the thought that counts, right? So that was an endeavor that was going on as well. So I think just reminding myself and going through these challenges is really pushing my character. It's also pushing my understanding of what I'm capable of, and that is a win-win outside of just the posting itself. So I know for a Fenty fact that Brienne this time last year would be shocked, amazed, but also proud of what I am currently doing right now. Now, I think that, do I want to go to what's challenge? I think one other thing that I will say is that with this posting every day, I always looked at these YouTubers as people who had to spend hours and hours editing. And that's typically what got in the way of me actually posting things, because I had in my head that I was gonna have to spend all this time filming, then all this time editing, and then maybe, just maybe, we might get 10 views. But with this process, I rarely have edited anything. I will say there were some days where like my storage ran out, so I had to film like 10 minutes and then it was like storage full, and then I would film like the next 5 to 10 minutes and put them together in CapCut. There were also some days where I was like, Brian, you're rambling this ain't making no sense, and I honestly did take out some of those parts. But I would say about 80 to 90% of the videos that I have recorded, I've maybe cut the two ends on the beginning and end and gone ahead and posted it. And just getting in that habit was something that I needed for myself to show me what's capable, what I'm capable of, and what's possible when I just do it, just execute, just do it. So that's the third thing I've learned. And I think the fourth thing I will land on before I go to what I thought would happen. The fourth big thing that I learned was that there was a month, I think it was February, where I was posting I was posting 2 shorts and a long form piece of content. This was before the Stand Dare to Post challenge, and I honestly could not keep up with the two at the same time. But when I was posting 2 shorts and a long form piece of content, that's when my followers or subscribers skyrocketed. But then when the Stand Dare to Post challenge started and I stopped doing the shorts, that's when I saw that I was getting less and less traction. So that's a lesson learned for me as I'm going forward, is that it's important for me to consistently be posting to shorts as well as long form, so that more people can find me. And then once they find me, they can go deeper in my long form content. That is something that I didn't expect necessarily. And also the other platforms I post on, Instagram and TikTok, like that's not even an option. You don't get rewarded even on on Instagram for posting something more than 3 minutes, because they're like, yeah, we're not gonna push this out to nobody else if it's more than 3 minutes long. So lesson learned in that too. Now, what I thought would happen, I'm gonna be honest, I definitely did expect a lot more subscribers and a lot more engagement. I'm currently sitting at 95 subscribers, and I'll have to go back and check, but I'm either on day 99 or day 100. With that being said, I may have used comparison to comparing people who may have had a YouTube channel for longer but just hadn't activated this daily posting until now. And I think that may have had an impact on my expectations. I think I'm also at about 110 watch hours, and I know that I need to get to 4,000 in order to get to the AdSense payout opportunity. And so those metrics were definitely significantly lower than expected, but it's not going to deter me from continuing my journey on YouTube. I also will say that I thought that I was going to have excitement in posting every day, and transparently, that was not the case. I also acknowledge I had a lot of other stuff going on, so this just kind of felt like another thing to do. And there were days where you can tell that I was really in it and excited. And then there were other days where I was like, we're doing this because we gotta knock this out. So I think that going forward, I'm not gonna do it daily. I'm definitely gonna do a few posts a week, but I wanna get back to a place where I'm looking forward to sharing something and I'm excited to engage with people. And that's just a reality that, given everything else I have going on in life, that is something that I've accepted, and I'm okay with that. And I think the last thing that I'll say with what I expected was more of a community feel with the people that were engaging with my content, but I do think that will come with time, and I need to do my part transparently with actually responding to comments. There are some that I still need to get to, and we're gonna take care of that this month. But I think a big thing is that this first 100 videos was definitely for me. It was definitely for me to get in the rhythm and the habit and to prove to myself that I'm capable of this. And then these next 100 are gonna be about like, okay, let's take the analytics, let's take the metrics, let's listen to Glow and eventually get to a full 1 minute video. I got to like 32 minutes in a video with Darian, but yeah, just really pushing the limit while also doing so in a sustainable way, given what we have on our plate. So I hope this is helpful for anyone who is considering a 100-day challenge, especially if you are starting from scratch and maybe you're not seeing the traction that you wanted from a metric standpoint. There's still a ton of growth and learning and, just I would say like character development that I'm grateful for. And I'm excited to see where this YouTube channel takes me for the rest of 2026. So if you enjoy this, please be sure to like and subscribe, and I will see you tomorrow.